Awaken to hair growth. Awaken to hair growth because there is possibility to get your hair back. Awaken to hair growth because we're not told that we're able to conquer and overcome alopecia. Awaken to hair growth because I want to be a positive light and beacon for you because I've healed my alopecia and now I help others do the same with different types of alopecia, men, women, children of all ages, of all races and ethnicities. Welcome back to the Alopecia Angel podcast. I'm your host, Johanna. It's so great to have you again. Today, we are talking about the 6 things that most of my clients tell me. And these are the 6 top things that they tell me once they start the Hair and Heal program, because it's quite beneficial to, hear and learn from others. And I think the best part about the Hair and Heal program is that it is a community. You do get to learn off of other people's experiences. And then you actually get these aha moments that it's not just you, that it is normal to feel this way. It is normal to have these things happen to you. So for example, one client in our last coaching call, she was telling us about her hair growth and about how she was having her itchy scalp. And as you know, a couple podcast episodes ago, it was all about the itchy scalp. And I wanted to bring that to light because a lot of times we think, oh no, it's more hair loss, when in reality, it's the opposite. It's hair growth. And the thing is, it's like, you wouldn't know this, you wouldn't understand this unless you were A, the guide, and you've, been there, done that, or, B, if you were not part of this group to see how one girl had hair growth and then how you are feeling, and then you can compare and contrast. Not to say that everyone who has an itchy scalp is going to have hair growth, but the general consensus is itchy scalp can and more than likely does lead to hair growth. At least that's what I see in the hundreds of clients that I see on a regular basis. And so it's quite fascinating to correlate and to see how similar experiences do correlate to a general consensus, right? I had this happen to me, and it wasn't until I started helping others that I was able to see, like, this is a pattern. I love seeing patterns. And so I guess what you could say is that these are the 6 top things of what my clients have told me and that I wanted to share with you today. So let's get to it. So the first thing that they say to me is that I wish I knew that there was another way. Because believe it or not, there is. You have other choices beyond what the regular doctor or beyond what your dermatologist wants you to believe. Just because they don't have all the answers doesn't mean there isn't another option, another door, another possibility to help you. Many times we have to look outside the box to learn from those who have accomplished this. And many times when you want to, get to a higher level, when you want to achieve something, you have to look to those who have achieved it, right? If I wanted to create something big like Amazon, right? Alibaba did that. Alibaba, for those of you who don't know, Alibaba is the Amazon of Asia. And Alibaba became so big, and even just as big, if not bigger than Amazon. Why? Because they copied and followed what Amazon did. And so a lot of times what you need to do, you need to look at, what people are doing in order to get those same results, if not better, and tweak it, right? And Alibaba has done this in a very, big way. And Amazon continues to grow in almost every country. And it's quite amazing. If you know my background a little bit, I've lived in multiple countries, and everywhere I go, Amazon keeps on growing. And, it's made my life easier, I guess. So no plug for Amazon, but at the same time, it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. So anyways, that's the number one thing, or one of the things that my clients have told me, that they wish that they knew that there was another way. Because sometimes we're struggling, right? What's the definition of insanity? To do the same thing over and over and over, thinking that there's going to be a different result. And in the beginning of my alopecia, I went to numerous doctors, numerous endocrinologists and dermatologists from different states and different countries, thinking that I was going to get a different result. And it just got worse and worse and worse. The stuff they told me in Europe was a joke. And then in California, it was like super aggressive. And then in Denver, it wasn't so great. And so it was just like, I was looking for a different result, but my strategy and the method was the same. And so it's like, we're not going to get a better result if you're doing the same thing over. So it doesn't matter if you've seen 100 doctors, it's not going to get you a different result. It's going to get you the same results, which is not the result you want, because there are no results with the medications and the pharmaceuticals, right? The next thing that my clients tell me a lot is, I wish I'd known the pros and cons of the treatment before agreeing to it. Many times as adults, we just take whatever we want because we are desperate for the solution. We're desperate for the results. And I get it, right? I get it. But at the same time, I would say read the fine print. At the same time, I would say look into the side effects, look into the ramifications, look into the long-term situation, because many of those medications and pharmaceuticals and treatments, quote unquote, can hinder other parts of your health. And even if you're in menopause and you're not even thinking about fertility, and even if you've already had your children, or maybe you're 80 years old and you just don't care about your health anymore and only you want your hair, well, it's still not going to work for you, because in order to get the hair, you have to consider your health. It's two things that go together. And so it's not separate. You can't jump over one thing to get to the other. It just won't work this way. You really have to consider both, because both go together. And so the pros and cons of certain treatments are really a lot of cons instead of pros. So for example, for laser caps, sure, you can use the laser cap, but then it's like you have to do this every day. And on top of it, the ratio or the percentage of actual success is very low, and it takes multiple years. It doesn't start in a month. It takes multiple years for this to happen. The same for PRP. The success rate is very low, and you have to do over maybe like 2-3 years of, consistent PRP treatments. And for this to happen, it's well over $5,000-$10,000. And so the investment or the return on investment is very slim. And so I have so many clients who have tried anything and everything under the sun. And so this is why I know, not because I did the PRP or because I did the laser caps. I knew that wasn't going to work from the get-go. But my clients have tried it, and they tell me, all these things don't work. And once they do the program, they see that it does work, and it works in quicker amount of time with long-lasting results, and even to those with different types of scarring alopecia. And it's incredible. So wishing that they've known the pros and cons of the treatment before agreeing to it. And this is a big one, because in our desperation of finding healing, of finding a cure and getting our hair back, we will do anything to get our hair right. But what we many times overlook are the negative side effects and long-term impairments on our health, because we choose and accepted a certain prescription or fell into the specialty shampoo cycle, clutching it like a security blanket, and soon realize that the torment of these Band-Aids have more emotional backlash than any progress you could see physically, which leads to a downward spiral of emotions and lack of belief that healing is possible. Additionally, parents as well sometimes overlook the long-term side effects hampering their child's health unknowingly. And this is awful. Not the parents' fault, but also it's a dialogue that has to happen, and it never happens. Even with birth control, you're given birth control like candy, and no one's talking about the side effects. And everything has a side effect, even paracetamol or Tylenol or Advil. It all has potential side effects. So how can you blame them when the system is giving you 10 minutes for a doctor's visit? As a parent myself, all I want for my children is for them to be healthy and happy, and I'll do anything to help them. But there's a catch. Prescription steroids and adult medicine won't heal and won't help. If anything, it will set them back for years to come with all the risks that they have. And so when, if you're a parent and you're given squaric acid, or you're given Allegra, or you're given some sort of cream or injection shot for your child, I would say stop any and all pharmaceuticals and medical lotions and potions that you're given for alopecia, because none of that works, and it all has a negative side effect, and it'll just backfire at one point in time. If not now, sooner than later, it will backfire. So I'd say stop altogether. Another thing that my clients tell me is that I wish I'd known that what I was experiencing or how I felt was normal. And many times we can't connect the dots. I got to tell you, for someone who got alopecia in their 30s, I couldn't even connect the dots. I couldn't vocalize. I couldn't verbalize what was going on. And so I don't expect, clients who are younger or even older to be able to like really grasp the big picture of what this feels like, because it is a tsunami of emotions, and what you feel, mind, body, and spirit, is absolutely normal and connected to alopecia. Don't think that your other symptoms are not connected, because they are. All of them are. Your body is one, and because of that, it does not work solo or in silos. It's all connected, and that's the key to know. This is why many times when you visit hundreds of specialists, it won't go anywhere, because they themselves don't talk to each other, and everyone has their own idea of what's going on. No one is looking at root causes because it's not taught. There's always so much more underneath it all. The next thing that my clients tell me a lot is, I wish that I knew that I wasn't alone. And you're not alone, but also surrounding yourself with the right community is imperative. Being with a positive and mindful group is necessary to cheer each other on and to help each other to get through this. It's taxing not only on the alopecian, but also on the loved ones around, since they most likely don't know how to help, how to support, or even how to put themselves in your shoes. Trust me on this. I was an alopecian and felt extremely isolated as never before, on my own island with no help or understanding. I went to forums, I went to associations, and only saw negativity, bitterness, hate towards people who were recovering and seeing hair growth. No one believed in holistic. No one wanted to embrace a natural way to heal. And many groups are funded by big pharma, which of course want to test drive all their latest drugs on you like guinea pigs. Yeah, no thanks. You have a choice. And the choice in who you choose to surround yourself is huge. And I would say, don't associate yourselves with other people who are going through hair loss and who have a woe is me, so sad, pity party for themselves, because that's not the type of person that you should be hanging around with. It's just the opposite. You want to strive. If your goal is hair growth, you want to strive to be with those who are uplifting, who are positive, who think that everything is possible, and who are, much more of a uplifting nature than those who want to throw a pity party and say, oh, woe is me, this is my destiny, I'm going bald, there's nothing I can do, and so woe is me. That's not the mindset or the attitude that promotes health, or that promotes change, or that promotes a better solution. None of that will lead you to a solution. It would just keep you stuck. So who you hang around with is very, very important as well. Another thing that my clients tell me is that nothing was wrong with me. And let me tell you, it's not you. I promise. It's everything around you. Alopecia is not your destiny or your fate. This is just a stop in your journey of life. And this is something you can overcome. You can heal from this. This is your opportunity to see what this is teaching you versus why is this happening to you? Because life happens for us, not to us. And I am one that, albeit the struggle was real hard, I am grateful for it now. It's taught me so much. And it's taught me so much about my health, about my hair, about life, about giving back, about, having a creative, positive outlet, and also about overcoming a challenging experience. And for any of you who do like endurance sports, or for any of you who have overcome, certain obstacles in life, this is definitely one that I was able to do. And it's given me so much satisfaction. And it's just, I think the only other thing I can relate this to is to labor. Going through a natural labor for me was grueling, and it was painful, and there was no medication, and there was no epidural. There was none of that. It was just me and my breathing and my midwife who was coaching me through it. And after like 13, 14 hours, finally my 10-pound baby came out. So, to me, that was like a Mount Everest of sorts, but that was pretty quick. 14 hours was pretty quick compared to 3+ years. So definitely alopecia has been the biggest obstacle challenge for me in my life. And as I've overcome it, I know you can too. And I think this is the biggest takeaway. If we can see people go to the moon, if we can see people, do the extraordinary, like climb Mount Everest, or walk on a tightrope from one building to the next over New York City, Times Square. This is possible. It's all possible. And yeah, okay, sometimes training is needed, right? You need to train to get up to Mount Everest and to summit. You need to train to do the tightrope. You need to, train to do certain things. But at the same time, it's not impossible. Everything is possible. Sometimes it just takes a little longer. And for alopecia, it took me over 3 years, but for you, it could take less than 8 weeks to get all the answers, to get all the skills, to get all the implementation, to get the roadmap that you need to see success in less time. The last thing that my clients tend to tell me is that they wish that there were resources out there and options for them readily available. And I would say that the typical client that I have is someone who doesn't give up, someone who is tenacious, someone who really wants their hair back and who will work for it. Because it's very easy to say, I want to lose 10 pounds or I want to lose 50 pounds, but I'm going to continue to be on the sofa and eat my donuts. Well, that's not the approach that someone who wants to lose 50 pounds should take, right? You would want to be a little more proactive, get yourself a personal trainer and maybe look into nutrition and then also look into other aspects of losing weight, right? But at the same time, when it comes to hair growth, it's not just going to fall upon you and just one day you're going to wake up. It's something that you need to consciously look at. It's something that needs to be added in and implemented into your life. And it's something that I am happy to teach and I am happy to offer because it's something that was not taught for me. And it reduces the struggle, it reduces the pain, it reduces the amount of hair loss, the time lost, and the energy. And this is why I do what I do, because it was out of my own frustration, it was out of my own struggle that I created the Hair and Heal program. So there are resources out there. There are ways to help yourself. There are ways to take control of your hair growth. There are ways to take control of your hair loss. There are ways so that you can have the solution, you can have the hope, and you can have the results all in less time. And there are alternatives. And even when there are no alternatives and you think all the doors are closed, well, maybe that's an opportunity for you to do that in your own space, for you to do that in your own way, to create another door. And that's what being a leader is all about. We don't all have to be leaders, but many times it takes a leader to find that other solution. And there is a better way. There's always a better way. So if you want the natural, holistic, organic way to really improve from the inside out, this is the only way. A proven method to heal your hair growth, take control of your hair loss, and to thrive. It really is. We have a special training going on starting soon, starting at the end of November 30th. We start a free training on how to heal and reverse your hair loss in 4 steps. Join me. I will have the link for you to sign up in the show notes, and you can join me for this training that is starting November 30th, December 1st, and December 2nd. It's a 3-day training, 4 steps on how to heal and reverse your hair loss. I hope that these top 6 things that clients tell me about alopecia has helped you, and I look forward to hearing from you and speaking to you soon again. Take care. Thank you for listening to the Alopecia Angel podcast, a positive light in healing alopecia. You can do this and we can help. Spread the word that reversing alopecia is possible by telling your friends and family.